Welcome to Think Big and Go Global, and today in the studio I have a very special guest, Dr. Arokia Antonysamy. She is the founder and the CEO of Mind Connect. Welcome to the studio, Arokia. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you.
And I'm so excited to talk about your new venture, Mind Connect. What is Mind Connect?
Mind Connect is a digital mental health platform, and it's a global one, and this is the first digital mental health platform developed by a group of clinical international experts. And this app is free to download, it's easy to use, and basically this app empowers the users to complete a self-assessment, because what is missing out in the world today is there's so many support systems, therapy, energy healers, spiritual healers, amazing support systems are out there. But where people are really struggling is they don't know, first of all, if they have a problem or not. And if they do have a problem, what is their problem? Then it helps them to, seek advice from, the right
the professionals. Because Arokia, you studied psychiatry, you had developed a really amazing career for years, but now your career is shifting to a completely different level, which is amazing, and that's why I'm excited to talk about it, because it's coming from the level of a professionalism, and this is what it means to identify the problem. So you identified the problem, the gap in the market.
Yeah.
What is the real problem that you have been seeing for years?
The real problem, I think, is the huge waiting list. When I see patients in the clinic, and I've been doing that for 20 years, the first question that occurs to me is, where were you the last 2 years? Your symptoms started 2 years ago. Where were you? And sometimes I used to think they did not seek help. Not necessarily the case, especially in countries like the UK. The stigma isn't that bad. But these patients, they have gone to the GP, and then they were in the waiting list, immediately put on the waiting list, for a consultant psychiatrist. And that waiting list goes on 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 18 weeks, even up to a year or more than that. And this state of helplessness just stayed with me for a very, very long time. Until that first day of my executive MBA at Warwick Business School, which is based, at floor 17 at the Shard building in London. At that time, this thought occurred to me, why am I doing this? I'm already in a senior position. So before I started my MBA.
So when you are in a senior position, you feel like you want to make the change and you can't make the change.
Exactly.
And that's why the why starts coming up.
Absolutely.
So yeah, tell me more.
So that's when I decided, what, actually I could do something about it. Yeah. I didn't have kind of a clear plan, but something occurred to me that I could do something about these long waits. I kept that spark alive in me for the next couple of years because I needed to focus on my studies. I needed to know a little bit more about, business, strategy, leadership, finance, marketing. And I did my AI module at Michigan in the US. When I did that module, then it's like that spark is kind of, intensified. Actually, what? I should be able to connect both AI and, mental health.
Yeah.
And as soon as I submitted my dissertation, I started working on my app straight away. So we have a good tech team, and they started, developing the app. And then I decided, if I have to commit to this business, if I have to commit to my passion, if I have to make my dreams come true, I needed to pay a huge price for it. Guess what it is? I had to forego my job. So this was a
job that you really worked so hard to get.
Absolutely.
Because it hasn't been easy to achieve what you have achieved. You came here in a student visa, like myself, with a big dream, and you built yourself way up. I would love to know a little bit about that journey.
So I started as a trainee doctor in the UK, and I did my rotation in Sheffield and Manchester and Lancashire, and then I moved to London. And I've always wanted to be a leader, because when I first started to work in psychiatry and when I saw the huge waits, I thought if I need to do something about it, then I need to be in an influential position.
Yeah.
So my leadership journey started straight away. So when I was doing my higher training in psychiatry, there was an opportunity for us to do our Masters in Leadership and Public Health, which was sponsored by King's Fund and University of Manchester and Manchester Business School. So I immediately applied for that program, and people were like, you must be crazy. Everybody is dying to finish their senior training and want to become a consultant. Why would you extend your training period going and joining a leadership program now? And 75 doctors applied for this program. That was the first program in the NHS to empower doctors into leadership positions, because they felt, the NHS realized at that time that there weren't enough doctors in leadership roles in the NHS. So of the 75 applicants, I was successful. They chose 9 doctors, and of the 9 doctors, 6 of us went on to complete the master's degree. 3 of them dropped out after a diploma because they couldn't balance their studies and childcare and research and then the job as well. So yeah, so as soon as I finished that, then yes, I became a consultant. But then 6 months into becoming a consultant, a leadership position came up in my own organization.
And you apply again?
I applied for that, and then my boss said, that's too early, you have not even been a consultant for 5 years, so yeah, you just focus on the consultant job. Okay, and then I saw the advert, and there was a leadership position which was senior than this role in another trust.
And you apply again?
So I spoke to the boss there, because I used to train with him, and he was like, I did not apply because he said 5 years, so he kind of shut me down, so I just kept quiet. But then he asked me, do you want to apply for this position? I said, are you sure? And he said, yeah, why not? I mean, you can apply. Then I thought, I'm not going to lose anything by applying. It will be a good interview practice for me. So I did apply for that role. And then I go for the interview, and who do I see in the reception room? It's my previous boss. So he was asking me, have you come here for a consultant interview? I said, no, I've been a consultant for 6 months. And then I said, I've come for the, and I couldn't even say that word clearly at that time. I said, associate medical director post. And he was like, what? And then he was also there for the same interview. So already I started, inside, shivering inside. But then, okay, I just kept my calm. And so he was quite upset that I had come, for a job that he is applying. So he attended the interview, and then he didn't even say bye, or because clearly he was upset. So I went in and then attended the interview. I came home. I felt I did a decent job, but I could have done better. And then 7 o'clock, the interview panel chair, he rings me and he says, you have got the job.
Wow.
I was like, over the moon. I was so happy. But then immediately this fear came in, because this boss is going to be there, and now I'm going to be his boss. And all those people who trained me, so they were all working as senior consultants in that organization. So I go there, and majority were men. So probably I think there were only 2 women doctors, and only there was 1 woman doctor as a consultant apart from me. So there, to be a boss, I think it's quite challenging. So I invited them all for a meeting to introduce myself and just to build that relationship, and only probably about 10% turned up. So that worried me. And then I spoke to my boss, and I said, I asked his help. I said, why don't you arrange for a meeting, introducing me, and then I'll take it from there. And he was like, no, you can do it. That's fine, you can do it. You just go ahead, you do it. So then I wrote a nice email, and very powerful one, very clearly, if you miss this, then you're missing something big. So then they all got a bit eager, so they all came. And then I said, I introduced myself, I welcomed them, and I said, most of you here are my trainers. You have all been my bosses during my training. So you've got a big job now, bigger job than me. If I fail in my job, then I'll blame you all, because you didn't train me well. So immediately, I could feel the sense of calm. So they were all, fine. the ice break happened, and we then got more comfortable.
So that shows lots of confidence, Arokia, and you coming here and taking yourself in such a journey and becoming that powerhouse where you are always bringing change and bringing courage and being an example what is possible. So where did this confidence come from?
I think this confidence probably stems from my mom. So I come from a family of 7 children, and my mom and dad, they wanted us all kids to go to a private school, which meant one of them had to go abroad. So they decided that my dad will go abroad, so my mom stayed there. She was a full-time working mom, more like a single mom, because my dad went off to bring in the money to put us all in private schools, and she single-handedly raised, the 7 of us, and she was working full-time. And in those days, those years, we didn't have fridge and all that, television and all that luxury. So she has to cook, every day. She had to pack our lunches every day, and she had to get ready to work as well.
She must be very proud of you.
Absolutely.
And Arokia, Dr. Arokia, as far as I know, your husband is a doctor as well.
Yeah.
And you both have been following your career. So how does he feel in this journey where you both climbing towards your top of the career? So how is your dynamics?
I think he has been my rock right from the beginning. So even when I started as a trainee, he recognized that leadership potential in me, and he always used to encourage me. And back home, some of my friends used to say, oh, you have to be careful, you need to stay, one step below, otherwise there will be friction between, husband and wife. But I think he was an exceptional person in that sense. He used to encourage me, and he used to send me to courses and conferences, and he used to, take over childcare. He has adjusted, he has been very flexible, made lots of adjustments to his schedule and, to his life. And even I would say, probably sacrificed some of his own dreams to be able to fulfill my dream.
Do you feel that one of the couples has to sacrifice some things, so the other one has
I think at every point someone has to do that, because when my older daughter, when my first daughter was born, we both were preparing for our exams, but then we realized if we both are writing our exams, we may not be able to look after her. So I decided to postpone my exams. I looked after my daughter. So my husband, he was able to do his exam. And then when he cleared, then I took my exam. And then, when my second daughter was born, he postponed his exam and then, allowed me to write.
It looks like you have a formula, a magic stick that you can find a solution for any challenge that comes into your life. So is that the way it is? Or how do you deal with challenges? And what are your major, let's say, obstacles that you have been facing in this journey, and now taking a decision to leave a job that everybody would dream because you have a calling? So tell me, what is the formula here?
I think when we keep our family life, it's kind of, stable, happy, we are, especially as women, especially for me, I've seen that just gave me this opportunity to fly, to dream, to set myself free. And I have been able to do that. And, thanks to my husband and probably his parents, because they have raised him well. And I think the biggest challenge I've seen is what my patients have been facing. It's a system. It's the challenge in the system.
And when your patient come and seek help, and you're sitting down with them, and you see that I can put myself in their shoes, and I wish I can give them my magic stick, because sometimes, and most of the time, and all the time, it's not the event that you are experiencing, is the way you are translating what is happening at the event. So now, as a professional, as a psychiatrist, as the CEO of the Mind Connect, that is going to bring an amazing platform to help people who are struggling with their mental health. If you had a magic stick to give like 3 tips to people who are struggling right now, what would be these three magic tips?
For all those who are struggling in silence out there, thinking that there is no help or no hope out there, I would like them all to reach out to this app, Mind Connect app. It is freely available out there, compatible with all the phones out there.
Let's suppose they don't know about the app yet.
If they don't know about the app or what is out there, the first thing I want them to do is reach out. Because the biggest mistake people do when they are...
Reach out where? You said if they reach out to NHS or somewhere, it's going to be a big queue. So what can they do themselves? Reach out where? To a friend?
Yeah.
Or to a community? Or
The first thing they can do is reach out to someone they can trust. It could be a friend, it could be a neighbor, it could be a work colleague, it could be someone else, at school or at the university.
Because you're saying that maybe there are people out there who are struggling in silence and they don't reach out.
Absolutely. They need to reach out.
Yes.
Someone whom they can trust, because trust has become a big issue in the society today.
Yeah.
Some of the kids, and there has been a recent research at Cambridge University looking at whether users would prefer, because we did a bit of a research when I was developing my platform, whether they would prefer digital assessments. And 85% prefers a digital assessment if it is readily available than seeing a therapist or a consultant psychiatrist. I think it's the time. Time is of the essence. So when they are struggling, they need help right now, not after a few weeks or few months.
Yeah.
Because that is the sad bit. You make them wait for few weeks, few months, they deteriorate. And I've seen people walking in crisis, they come in handcuffs, completely deprived of their dignity, their privacy. That's so sad. That is something, I cannot see, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And the second one?
The second tip, I would say, there are a lot of, self-help books available online, self-help tips available online, and there are some very reliable websites like, say, the Royal College of Psychiatrists, Mental Health Online, Mind is a charity, and they have put some very helpful information for patients and carers as well, because sometimes carers are the ones struggling. Patients may not realize that something is wrong with them, and then the carer, the family members around them, they all have to walk in eggshells all the time because they don't know what to say, how to handle it, and so there are some support systems for carers as well.
And the last one?
The last one, I would say, they need to, of course, they should definitely reach out to their GP. But that is not going to be an easy process. There are emergency numbers like 111, the Samaritans. Sometimes, I mean, the feedback is kind of mixed. Sometimes yes, they get the help they need, but sometimes they do struggle. But I would say the best way forward is to make sure that they have some kind of access to a specialist.
And maybe the best way forward is to avoid they should not be in that situation where they're not capable of healing the process of what they're going through.
Absolutely.
Well, I am so excited about your new venture, and Mind Connect is going to be a very powerful tool. So when is it going to be available?
So we are going through the regulatory processes now, because we need to register it as a medical device through MHRA, and in the UK, the scrutiny is quite robust, and we have to provide high levels of quality assurance for the tool. So we are hoping to complete that process in about, say, 3-4 months, and we will be launching it by January, February next year.
Wow, that's amazing. I am so excited about it, and congratulations for everything you have achieved.
Thank you.
And please keep us posted. It's amazing what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being at the Think Big and Go Global, because this is what you stand for as well.
Thanks, Mirela.